Have you ever had that eerie feeling that something's just off? Like you remember a logo, a name, or even a moment from your life, but everyone else swears it never happened? What if that wasn't a mistake in your memory, but a glitch between two overlapping realities? They call it the Mandela effect. Thousands remembering the same wrong detail, as if their minds were synced to a different version of history. But what if these mistakes aren't mistakes at all? What if they're evidence, proof that multiple universes are bleeding into ours? Because there's something the world doesn't talk about. Cases that don't fit logic, like the man from 𝘠𝘰𝘬𝘵, who appeared at an airport with a passport from a country that never existed. Or the woman from 𝘠𝘰𝘬𝘵, who vanished into thin air after claiming to be from a city no one had ever heard of. These stories aren't urban legends, they're documented, witnessed, and buried. And if even one of them is true, then reality, as we know it, is a lie. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might change the way you see your own reflection. They say memory can lie, but what if it's not memory that's lying? What if it's reality itself? We've all noticed it, even if we don't talk about it out loud. Little details that feel wrong. A movie line you could swear was different. A cartoon you grew up with that somehow changed. Luke, I am your father, except no, apparently, Darth Vader never said that. He said, no, I am your father. That's what the record shows. But millions remember it the other way. Or Pikachu. Everyone remembers his tail, yellow, with a little black tip. That's how it looked. In your childhood drawings, right? Except there's no black tip. Not in any official version ever. He's completely yellow. And the Monopoly Man. Remember his little monocle? The tiny round glass that made him look rich and smug? Gone. He's never had one. Not once. So how do millions of people from different countries, ages, and languages share the same wrong memories? How can so many brains glitch in exactly the same way? Scientists call it false collective memory. They say it's just the brain filling in gaps, a shared illusion. But others don't buy that explanation. Because something changed after 2012. That year, some claim the world ended. Not with fire or war, but quietly, like a computer shutting down. Some believe our universe collapsed, and we were all shifted into a nearly identical one. Same stars, same streets, same faces, but not exactly the same. Tiny imperfections. A logo that's off. A color that's wrong, a line that was never spoken. And somehow, we all just kept living, without realizing that the code around us had been rewritten. If that sounds crazy, consider this. After 2012, the number of Mandela effect reports exploded online. Thousands of people from every corner of the world suddenly started noticing the same distortions. It's like our collective consciousness was trying to tell us, this isn't home anymore. But here's where things get darker. If universes can overlap, then pieces of them could mix objects. Memories, even people could drift across, like the man who arrived at a Tokyo airport with a passport from 𝘠𝘰𝘬𝘵, a country that never existed on any map. He was detained for questioning, hours later, vanished from a locked hotel room. His passport, his documents, his entire identity, gone. Or the woman from 𝘠𝘰𝘬𝘵 who swore she came from a place no one had ever heard of. She even showed ID and local details that matched nothing on Earth. She disappeared too, like she was never here at all. These aren't just stories. They're evidence that reality isn't fixed. That maybe, just maybe, we're living inside overlapping versions of existence, and sometimes they glitch. What if everything we call reality isn't solid at all, but a fragile recording that keeps being overwritten? Scientists at CERN once said something strange after the 2012 collider tests. They joked that the universe might have reset. But what if that wasn't a joke? What if opening microscopic black holes in the collider did more than we realized? Some researchers quietly suggested that we might have broken the symmetry of space-time, that when the Higgs field stabilized, it changed the energy balance of our reality just enough to reboot it. If the simulation theory is true, if we are inside a coded construct, then maybe 2012 wasn't the end of the world. It was the end of that version of the code. And what came after is version 2.0. That would explain the fragments, the bleed-throughs, small memory differences that shouldn't exist, yet do. Think of them like corrupted files that survived the crash. Our memories of the Monopoly Man or the black tip of Pikachu's tail aren't mistakes. They're leftovers from the last version of existence. And if we're all data inside a larger system, it makes sense that not every bit copied over perfectly. But let's step away from theory for a second, because something even weirder happens when people try to test these anomalies. Groups online began comparing memories, running collective reality checks. They'd find hundreds, sometimes thousands, remembering the same wrong details. Whole movie lines, lyrics, colors, identical across continents. No single explanation fits, because statistically, it's impossible for so many unrelated people to share identical false memories, unless those memories are true, just not in this world. Now, look at this. Quantum physics already hints that reality is not one smooth, single fabric. At the smallest scales, particles exist in multiple states at once, a principle called superposition. They can be here and there, alive and not, until someone observes them. That simple act, observation, forces one version to become real and collapses the rest. But what happens to those other versions? Where do they go? According to the many worlds theory, they don't vanish. They continue branching out, each one a slightly different version of the universe. So what if the Mandela effect isn't about false memory at all, but about people catching echoes from the other branches, like radio interference between two overlapping frequencies of existence, maybe in one universe? Pikachu really did have a black tail. Maybe in that one, Darth Vader did say, "Luke, I am your father," and maybe some part of us, our consciousness, still remembers both versions because it once lived in both. Consciousness might not be tied to a single world. It might drift like static, electricity jumping between circuits when the systems get too close. And if universes can touch, then maybe that's what we're seeing now, the fingerprints of the collision between realities. Some people even report feeling sudden disconnection, a strange dizziness, a flicker in the air, right before they notice something's off, like their brain just synced to a different version. And there's a chilling possibility. What if this crossover is increasing? What if every glitch, every false memory, is the system trying to reconcile two timelines that were never meant to merge? If 2012 truly marked a collapse, then maybe we've been living in a patched version of reality ever since, stitched together from fragments of what was lost. Think about it. Every year since then, time itself has felt faster. The world keeps getting stranger, more distorted, as if someone is slowly turning down the frame rate of the simulation. The boundaries between universes might not be walls at all. They might be thin membranes, and ours is starting to leak. At first, people thought it was just confusion, old memories, nostalgia, tricks of the brain. But lately, something's changed. Glitches are happening more often, not just with logos or movie lines, but with real places, real people, real lives. Someone wakes up in a city where their favorite cafe never existed. Someone else remembers a childhood friend that no one else has ever heard of. Even families have begun to split in memory. One person swears an event happened. Another insists it never did. It's like parts of the world are slowly drifting apart. Every day, more people online write about this sense of displacement, not depression, not déjà vu, but something deeper, like waking up in a version of life that isn't fully yours. And if these shifts are real, it could mean something far more terrifying, that some universes are dying. Not all at once, not in explosions or black holes, but quietly, fading, collapsing in on themselves. When that happens, their energy, their data, has to go somewhere. And maybe it leaks into us. That would explain the confusion, the mixed memories, the feeling that time itself is unraveling. Each person remembering a slightly different story because they're carrying fragments of other realities that no longer exist. Think about it. If the multiverse is infinite, then not all universes survive forever. Some decay, some lose their stability, and when they do, they might bleed into nearby ones. What if that's what's happening now? What if our universe is absorbing the echoes of those collapsing worlds, and in the process, rewriting pieces of itself? Maybe that's why people argue about what's real. Why one person remembers a different color of a logo, a different ending to a song, a different year something happened. They're both right, but from different worlds. And if these overlaps keep happening, our universe could be changing faster than we realize. Some theories say there are ways to cross intentionally through altered states of consciousness, extreme electromagnetic fields, or quantum experiments that mimic entanglement on a human scale. There are whispers about people who tried, meditation experiments gone wrong, scientists who vanished mid-trial, and those who swear they came back to a world that's just off by a few degrees. Maybe it's not a door you walk through, maybe it's a vibration, a resonance of thought that lines up with another world for just a second. And when that happens, you shift. The terrifying part? You might not even notice. You just wake up one day, and the coffee tastes a little different. The skyline outside, your window has one less building, and nobody remembers the things you do because maybe you're the one who moved, not in space, but between worlds. Maybe it didn't start in 2012. Maybe it started long before that, and we just didn't have the language to see it. Ancient myths talk about the veil thinning, times when spirits could cross over, when dreams bled into waking life. But what if those weren't myths? What if our ancestors were describing the same fractures we're witnessing now, with the words they had back then? Because something strange keeps happening. Every few years, the pattern of coincidences grows tighter. People from opposite sides of the planet report the same new memories on the same day. Whole groups online suddenly wake up to noticing the same distortion. It's like the multiverse itself breathes, expanding, contracting, as if reality has a heartbeat. Physicists used to think that universes could collide like bubbles in an endless cosmic foam. When two get too close, their boundaries ripple, matter and energy mix, and for a brief, impossible moment, both become one. If that's happening here, we might be standing in the interference zone, a collision between dying universes and living ones. Every time one fades, ours absorbs the shock, the rules shift, the data resyncs and something changes. A logo, a face, a memory. But what if that process is accelerating? Some cosmologists suggest entropy, the slow death of energy balance, could be spreading through the multiverse like an infection. When one world collapses, its instability spreads outward, like cracks in glass. Maybe our universe isn't collapsing yet, but it's feeling the pressure of others that already are. Each collision leaves behind residual echoes, tiny mismatches in time, slight delays in cause and effect, moments where you pause and everything around you feels out of sync. You know that feeling when you walk into a room and forget why you came? That split second where reality feels hollow? What if that's the flicker? A signal that, for a moment, you weren't completely here. Some people call it déjà vu. Others call it a glitch. But what if it's the pulse of existence, a vibration from a dying universe brushing against yours? And the question nobody wants to ask is why now? Why are so many fractures appearing at once? There's one theory that keeps resurfacing among quantum researchers, that consciousness isn't created by the brain, but exists beyond it. If that's true, our minds might not be in the universe at all. They might be the anchors keeping it stable. And as more minds lose focus, as more people forget, ignore, or numb out, the less stable reality becomes. It's not that the universe is dying on its own, it's that we're letting go of it. If every thought, every memory, every shared perception is a thread holding the fabric of existence together, then forget enough of them, and the fabric begins to tear. Maybe that's why some of us remember different pasts, because we're not remembering alone anymore. We're remembering across worlds. Our minds are reaching for what used to be, trying to hold the edges of fading universes together. But how long can we keep doing that before the weight of 1,000 overlapping worlds becomes too much to carry? Maybe the truth isn't that we live in one universe, or that we've slipped into another. Maybe we're drifting through all of them, one heartbeat at a time. Every breath, every choice ripples outward across countless worlds, creating versions of you that made a slightly different move. Some are still alive. Some have already fallen apart, and if the walls between them are fading, then maybe what we call memory isn't memory at all. Maybe it's resonance, the echo of who you were, where you've been, and the worlds you've already lost. So when you feel that strange emptiness, when a word sounds wrong, or a place looks unfamiliar, maybe don't ignore it, because you might be standing in a place that used to belong to someone else. Multiverse isn't waiting for us to understand it. It's already moving, shifting, bleeding, and every time a universe dies, ours inherits its ghosts. Perhaps that's what we are now, a collage of fading worlds, stitched together by memory, trying to remember what real used to mean. If that's true, then the end of the world isn't coming. It's already happened, and we're what's left behind. Watch the next one, because what comes after this might not belong to our universe anymore. This is only the beginning. Reality's shifting. Stay close. Want to see what's next? Subscribe before it changes.